Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Heyman speaking to you from our studios on South Grundy Street in Troy, Alabama. Titletown, Brantley, Titletown, Troy, whatever you want to, the way you want to speak of it. You're talking to a man who is just elated to be where he is in Alabama today, and of course, hope everybody's looking forward to a great weekend. It's the Mardi Gras weekend in Troy. What a event going on at the Cattleman's Arena, and that's going to be a big night on tomorrow night as Mardi Gras is celebrated in a big way in Troy, Pike County, America. Of course, there'll be a great band, great food. I don't know if there's any tickets left or not. You could call the College Senior Center. Now, we call it the College Senior Center, but these are seniors that love to dance. And there'll be a lot of folks from ages 21 on up at this event. Of course, everybody said, well, it's the Senior Center. Well, let me tell you, this Senior Center raises money every year to enhance its programs and so forth at the College Senior Center. Of course, there'll be a giveaway of, if you haven't bought your ticket yet, you need to go ahead and buy your ticket on the $12,000 giveaway that will go on at the event tomorrow night, again, at the Cattleman's Theater. But call them today at the College Senior Center and see if there's any tickets available or tables available. What they like to do is sell the table. The table is $800, and you can buy that table and invite all your friends. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hi, morning.
Where are you calling from this morning?
Crow Hill, Alabama.
Crow Hill, Alabama. Merry Christmas to you. And from Crow Hill, Alabama, Merry Christmas to you. Is that right? Tonight?
Yeah, I'm about 5 minutes from the studio this morning, but I've got to get these two kids.
Well, a lot of people would like to see your pretty face, man. A lot of people would love to see your pretty face. You got a face for television and not a face for radio. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get off this baby weight. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it off soon. I'm going down to Graton Beach for the weekend.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. You gonna go to the Red Bar?
Yeah, we'll go to the Red Bar, and we're going to go and hopefully go to one of my favorite places of all time, Sunnyside Grill, one morning. I've been craving some breakfast down there, so maybe we'll do that as well.
I tell you, one guy from Michigan and the other guy's from Alabama. Is that right?
Yeah, he actually is a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan too. You go in there and it's all Alabama and Pittsburgh Steelers stuff.
Oh yeah, no question about it. And they love Bear Bryant and all that. All the days, the great days of Alabama lore.
Yeah, of course.
Let me ask this: what happened to your basketball team last night? Boy, oh boy! They found out that your Bernardo did not even play.
Yeah, I was reading an article after the game, and Coach Cunningham mentioned he was suspended, or not suspended, but didn't play for the half. But Bernardo didn't play the whole game. So I don't know if this is a suspension or if this comes down to a situation he got injured against South Alabama. You know, there was kind of a dust-up after the South Alabama game between the two teams where there was a lot of yelling and pointing after the game, and the teams didn't even shake hands. They were all sent to the locker room after the game. So I don't know if something came down from league office or if he just got suspended or if he's injured. I don't know. You know, he was suspended earlier in the year against Coastal Carolina for the first conference game of the season.
Well, he didn't play last night, and it sure hurt.
All I know is Troy can't win without him.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, he got beat. Little Rock dominated second half.
I mean, when you have a team that has won 7 games, come in and beat you by 14 points and score 54 points in the second half, I mean, Troy's basketball has officially hit rock bottom, unfortunately.
Ray and Tucker hit the
Coach
headline.
Cunningham, Coach Grant, and Coach Fletcher, and Coach Worley, and Coach Steele. I mean, I don't know what's happened to this team.
I know this, that like you said, it's very hard to win without Bernardo, who had come into the game averaging close to 30 points a game the last 5 or 6 games. Is that right?
Well, he was averaging 29 points a game in conference play.
In conference play, and that
which is
really,
unheard
really
of.
good. That's right. That's really good. Ryan Tucker.
And then at the end of the day, you know, Troy is still a 4.5-point favorite, even though he was out in Vegas against a team that had only won 7 games, and one of those wins was against Troy. So now this team has won 8 games all season, and 2 of them are against Troy.
Yeah, well, it's tough.
And guess who Troy's got coming up after they play Arkansas State at home on Saturday? How about a trip to Georgia Southern and a trip to Georgia State?
Oh, boy. It's going to be rough, isn't it? Hopefully they can put it
It's
together.
one of those type things they just can't get any consistent play out of their starters. Like Johnson played pretty well out of Decatur last night. Adams, the kid out of Carver, is finally starting to shoot the ball better. He had 15, had 17 against South Alabama. The Burkett kid out of Huntsville last night came in and scored 10 points. But, you know, then Hicks disappears. B.J. Miller disappears. Hicks only scored 9 points. Well, Bernardo not playing Hicks needs to score 25.
Oh, I know he does, or 50, whatever. You're right. No question about it. I feel
the
the same
game
way.
The first half, and then you came back and enjoyed some of the best ribs I've ever had in my life from Hook's Barbecue.
Isn't it something how good the barbecue ribs are?
Troy makes 8 threes in the first half and is up by 6.
8 threes.
And then at one time before we turned it off, I was listening on the radio with you.
Wait a minute. You mean you turned the game off, Mike?
I turned the Alabama National Championship game off, too. Don't tell anybody. But when it comes down to it, Arkansas Little Rock was 15 for 19 at one time in the second half.
At one time they hit.
Troy gives up over 80 points a game defensively in basketball. And if you're going to give up 80 points a game, you're going to lose a lot.
Yeah.
And defense is all about effort. You know what I mean?
The team from Little Rock shot an amazing 79% from the floor in the second half.
I mean, and that means nobody's getting guarded. I mean, at the end of the day, when you give up 30 points in the first half and then you give up 54 in the second half, how's that even possible?
Yeah, that's right. Well,
in your home gym?
I don't know. I would love for somebody to call in and tell us what happened to Bernardo. Has he been, was he kicked?
I mean, is he kicked off the team, or is he just suspended for one game like last time?
We don't know, but I sure hope everything works out.
And then, unfortunately, the Lady Trojans lost last night as well, so now they've lost 2 in a row.
Who beat them?
Little Rock at Little Rock.
Oh, boy.
These crazy schedules where Troy plays Little Rock at home and the girls play at Little Rock on the road.
That's not a good idea, and I hope they'll change that. And in fact, this weekend, same way, isn't it? How does that work?
Yeah, same situation.
Troy will play at what time?
I don't know. I have to look and see, but I'm just talking about the girls will play in Arkansas and the boys will play at home in Troy.
Well, I hope they can get this thing.
I mean,
turned around.
Troy at one time was 10-7, their best record probably they've had in years, and now they've lost 4 in a row in conference. And now, you know, I mean, they've got this 2 tough road games. Arkansas State's a lot better. Even though Troy beat them on the road earlier this year in overtime, I mean, I don't know how you turn it around.
Yeah. Well, I know it's a big game. We needed a lot of support out there this weekend.
How did our local teams do last night? I hadn't been able to read on that. Charles Henderson boys and Charles Henderson girls, how they do?
The Charles Henderson girls won big last night. They, as always, they really did something very unusual. They gave up 29 points, or 24 points. But they won the game 59-24 in basketball last night at Charles Henderson. Let's see what kind of other scores we got. Charles Henderson is, let's see, the boys. I don't have a score yet from their boys. That's what we got to find. And hopefully we'll find that out in a moment.
Didn't you say yesterday the boys were playing too? Or
yeah, they played. Girls? They played, and I just don't have a score right now. I don't see one. Samson beat Goshen last night pretty bad. Surprised me there. Okay, here we go.
If it's the Samson girls, it doesn't surprise me at all. Is it the boys?
Yeah,
game or the girls game?
Yeah, here we go. I got it right here. Steve brought it in here to me, and I didn't even know I had it. But we'll find that in a second. Well, I say I can find it. I'm not finding it right now. Let's see here. Slocum. All the area games have been reported. And I've got right here Pike County plays tonight. Maybe Charles Henson plays tonight. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Here we go right here. In 5A. Well, I thought I'd have it. And we've got every other score, it seems like. Here it is. Charles Henderson, well, they beat Greenville last night, 57-41. So Charles Henderson, both boys and girls, advanced, Mike. So congratulations to them.
So where will they go now? Play in the regional somewhere?
Yeah, they're playing the regionals. They've been playing in Dothan. I don't know where they'll play this year. We'll check on that.
So where in Dothan did they play? The Civic Center or the Old Farm Center?
Play at the Civic Center.
Is the Old Farm Center where all the wrestling used to go on still even there?
No, I don't know. I think it's still there. I don't think they use it that much. But I remember the Old Farm Center.
A lot of people don't realize that you emceed a wrestling match one time with David McComb.
I sure did.
And
how do you remember things like that?
Teams at Troy.
I don't. How do you remember that?
There was a guy that was like impersonating Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yeah.
That was quite an event on Troy Cable. I wish they could go to the archives and pull that event up and put it on one day.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Northview beat Dothan last night, 52-48. Eufaula walloped Northview last night, 83-63. Eufaula advances in Class 6A now. That's going to be a tough league for them to play in, but Eufaula's pretty good, no question about it. Always good basketball. Mountain Brook last night, Mike, beat Hewitt Trussville 78-51, and Vestavia beat Spain Park 72-56. That means Mountain Brook and Vestavia play at 6 tonight. So that would the finals be on Saturday at 6. So that'll be a pretty good basketball game in Birmingham, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, you got the Wofford kid that's top 5 player in the country, McDonald's All-American, that is a phenom. Everybody in the country wants him.
Where is he going? Do you know?
Right now, his list is down to Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and I think Virginia.
Now, is he a big kid?
Yeah, he's 6'9".
And he's a big-time player?
But he plays the point. He's like a LeBron James kind of guy.
Okay. I was looking here.
He's kind of like a point forward, but he's a guy that averages 25 a game.
Yeah.
He's real smooth, is what you would say.
Yeah. Alabama got a good shot at him.
Yeah, Alabama's got a shot, but his brother played at Indiana for Tom Green, who's now the head coach at Georgia.
I got you. Okay, Lee of Montgomery beat Enterprise last night, 67-52. Enterprise is now 23-8. Lee of Montgomery is 27-3. Got a good basketball team, don't they? And I was just looking through here. Brantley, I don't know if these are boys or girls. That's what's so bad about all this that I don't know. But Brantley beat Elba last night, 52-46, and Florella beat Kinston last night, 51-26. That sounds like girls, doesn't it? That sounds like girls, and we'll flip the page here and see if we'll be able to get any local scores here. I've got all kinds of paperwork here, but I can't I've got them turned around here, which is my fault. But we'll turn the page right here and see if we've got any more scores. Frank Robinson.
Frank Robinson died yesterday.
Yeah, the great Frank Robinson, former Baltimore Oriole.
He was 83 years old.
He was a good one. Of course, I can remember the tandem of Frank Robinson and Pinson. What was Pinson's name, Mike?
Pinson, huh?
Veda
I don't know who that is.
Frank, I can remember the great Cincinnati team that had Frank Robinson and Veda Pinson, and on that team, and of course Robinson later on starred for the Orioles. But another great player on that team.
Johnny Bench on those teams?
Well, that's right. He played. Now Johnny Bench played for Cincinnati, as did Ted Kluszewski. You ever heard that name?
Yeah.
Ted Kluszewski. But it was, he was a great player, no question about it. Frank Robinson won the all-time.
He was also a manager as well.
Well, that's right, he sure was. And boy, oh boy, we're just not going to be able to have the kind of scores in the Dothan paper as normal. Normally we have a lot of scores in the Dothan paper, but not many today. So we'll be...
NFL scouting combine's coming up, and Auburn's got 6 players going. Alabama's got 11 going to the NFL scouting combine, which is huge to be evaluated by these NFL scouts. So it's going to be interesting to see if Troy has anybody invited to the combine. I think that maybe Sanders and Blaise Brown might have a chance.
Yeah, no question about it. And, hopefully they do have a chance. That was a correct score. Robert E. Lee of Montgomery beat Enterprise 67-52, and Enterprise had a very good team. They finished the season. They'll play in these regionals. Enterprise will with a record of 23-8, so they're still in it. And we'll be.
How are they still in it if they got beat?
Evidently, they play sort of a double elimination type deal, I reckon.
I thought you'd lose, you're done.
Goshen lost big to Sampson last night, but that was in girls' ball. That's one of the problems. It's hard to distinguish whether you're talking about girls or boys. We'll get this set up in a few minutes.
I went to Sampson one day. I was working down there, and I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Well, all these kids going to the gym, and a bunch of people were parking, and fans were walking up going into the gym, and this was like 12 o'clock, and they were playing a girls basketball game against Trinity of Montgomery at like 12:30 one day in the middle of the school day.
Oh yeah, I bet they had a record crowd though.
But I mean, they've won so many state championships. If you drive through Sampson, you see that sign every time you go through there. How many women's or ladies state championships?
I can remember a boys basketball team from Sampson. It was one of the best ever assembled, maybe in South Alabama at one time, when they had the starting guards were. Let's see. All right. Well, they had the Owens brothers, Terry and Jerry Owens were both 6'5" guys. They had Steve Holly.
Steve Holly played at Troy, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He was a great one at Troy. Had the great Mickey Holly. And of course. And I think Alford was the other one. Tim Alford, I think, was the other starter. No, or Moose Spears. Tim Alford or Moose Spears was the other guard. But that was 6'5", 6'5", 6'5". Oh, and Mickey and Steve Hollyway was 6'5". This is high school basketball. There was 6'5", 6'5", 6'5", and Mickey Holly was probably 6'3". That was a pretty big lineup, wasn't it?
Yeah, for 1 or 2A school, yeah.
The problem was that Eufaula had James Booth, who was very good, and
Sampson had to play Eufaula?
No, well, they did in the regions. Back then, they didn't have classifications.
Oh yeah, God, that's brutal. So that was like a Hoosiers type thing.
Yeah, but I tell you, Kinston could play anybody. I mean, Sampson could play anybody. Kinston had Tommy Whitehurst, who was a great player, and. They had Carnley, and they had several good players on their team. I'm trying to think of Roy. Roy's last name? Roy from Kinston, and Greenville had good teams. Opp had a guy named Atkins that was one of the best shooters around back then. Was a good player. Troy had a starting lineup for Troy. And Troy finished the season 24-8, one of the best years ever, coached by Leon Hillier. The guards were Freddie Howard. All right, the guards were Freddie Howard and Herbie Hunter. Wait a minute, no, Herbie was a forward. Ronald Giddings. Ronald Giddings and Freddie Howard were the guards. Giddings was a great player. The center was Jimmy Rose, 6'1", Jimmy Rose, and the forwards were William Davis, yes, your own William Davis out there, and Herbie Hunter, your own Herbie Hunter out there, who plays golf.
Could William Davis shoot?
Oh yeah, William Davis was a very good player. All those guys were good players. Freddie Howard, And Ronald Giddings was a great player, Mike.
What about Cheryl Crow? Was he like 3 or 4 years older than them?
He was. Cheryl Crow was 1 year older than they were, and Cheryl Crow was a great player. He's 6'3", could shoot, was smooth as silk.
He's about 6'4", 6'5", wasn't he?
No, I think it's 6. Well, he might have been 6'4", but he could shoot it. He held the school record with 33 points one night for a long time until it was broke by Steve McMillan. Steve McMillan, the guy that was CEO of Sarah Lee. Steve McMillan scored 49 points in a game one time against Brundage.
Wow, was he real tall?
No, he wasn't tall at all. He was about 5'9", 5'10", but he could shoot it. But against Brundage, he snowbirded the whole time. You know what a snowbird is?
Yeah, you don't go down the court.
Yeah, you don't go down the court, and and your team gets rebounded, just throws it down to the other court, and you're the only one there, and he puts it up and in. Well, Steve McMillan could shoot. Now he was a great shooter to go with it, but a lot of his points were snowbird points against Brundage.
I mean, back in the day, of course, there wasn't any three-pointers, but you also couldn't dunk a ball back then either. Wasn't that illegal too?
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And you didn't see people dunking the ball. If you dunked the ball, even during warm-ups, they give you a technical foul. That team had Steve McMillan, Tommy Garrett, Wayne Brock, that's Virgil Wayne Brock, Warren Hanchy, and one more on that, other than McMillan, one more player on that team was, John Paul Musman. Dr. John Paul Musman played on that team, Mike.
I thought Hanchy was a big golfer.
Oh, he was, but he played basketball too. He was pretty tall. Hanchy was about 6'3", probably 6'2", 6'3".
I tell you what, I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's all over the world.
He is. Hey, listen, he has done very well. I didn't know he would turn out to be the inventor and the businessman that he is today.
He does the energy bracelets, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He does a lot of other things. He and his son are getting to be big time across the world. You're right.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He was raised on Murphy Street in Troy, Alabama. McMillan was raised on Murphy Street in Troy, Alabama. Wayne Brock was raised on Fairview Street.
So I guess
John
back
Paul,
in the day,
Paul Musman was raised over in the college.
There wasn't a Troy Country Club. When was that established?
Yeah. Troy Country Club has been around forever, Mike.
So people lived out there back then? You never hear that.
No, they didn't. People didn't live back then. You're right. People did not live out there.
I mean, I know. I mean, Crow Hill wasn't established till 1975.
Oh, it was probably.
You ought to know you were the first house up there.
Yeah, 73 or something like that. 72, something like that.
I mean, when you hear about old Troy stories, you either grew up on Knox Street, you grew up on Orange Street, you grew up on College Street, you grew up on Murphy Street.
Well, if you grew up on Murphy Street and what they call Hillcrest, you were rich. And then back when I was growing up, if you had a brick house, you were rich.
So if you had a block house, you were poor.
That's right. If you had a block house or a wooden house, and you didn't have air conditioning, and you didn't have.
Well, tell me this, like for people out there listening.
I used to run and jump in my bed. It was so cold in my house. We had a big heater in the middle of the house, but then on these real cold nights, you ran to the bed. A lot of folks, I hope, are chuckling at that.
What about George Wallace Drive and like all those houses over in that area? When was all that built?
That was later. Well, Curran Farmer built all those houses, and and Bob Talbot. Curran Farmer and Bob Talbot built most all of those houses over in that area, and and of course a lot of people lived over in that area. A lot of them were college professors and so forth, and you had the college area, and
that's what I tell people all the time. Growing up, we were Cherry Street kids, and we didn't know the College View kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Schools were separated growing up.
Well, for a long time,
until like we're in the 5th grade.
Yeah. For a long time, they had the college. You had the Troy Elementary School, and then the elementary school at the college, which was oh gosh, I should know that well, but a lot of people went to school there.
Elementary school, the college is called College View.
And the College View was
where the nursing department is now.
That's right. That was considered
we went to Singer Street to elementary school, and then we went to Cherry Street for I guess elementary school.
Elementary, yeah.
And then kindergartens we went to Singer Street, and then I guess elementary school we went to Cherry Street, and then we went 1 year to College View. I guess in 5th grade, and then we went to junior high school.
Yeah, that's right. And of course,
Mountain Brook does it different, and Best David, they do 10 through 12 at the high schools.
And Mountain Brook, I thought everybody did it 10 through 12. Some of them do it 9 through 12.
Yeah, we were 9 through 12 at Troy.
Yeah, I know that's right. No question about it. We're having fun talking old Troy this morning. Of course, the elementary school was right there, right behind where the First Baptist Church is now, and that's where most everybody went to elementary school. And then they went to junior high school, and the old Troy High School was located where the library is right now, and that was the junior high school. I was the last coach to coach at that school, Mike. And of course they built the middle school on South Brundage, on Elm Street. So and they tore that old building down, and made a beautiful library. And then of course Charles Henderson moved from old Troy High School, which was the old junior high school where the library is now. That was the old high school for many years, and they moved to the present location of Charles Henderson High School back in 1959, I want to say, was the first class that went through that school.
I tell you what, every time I ride by the junior high school football field, I'm amazed about how unbelievable that grass looks out there. I remember when we used to play out there, it was awful.
Well, it's called winter grass, Mike. You mean how great it is?
I used to bring friends down. A lot of people were surprised that Troy has a junior high stadium. Most junior high teams play in the high school.
But wouldn't it be a shame for people to think that was our high school stadium? That'd be pretty bad, wouldn't it?
We say all the time when Troy's lights went out back in the Rick Rhodes days when they finished that game on the practice field.
Yeah.
That went in 50 yards with the lights. I don't think you could have took a college team to play on that junior high field, and I guess the only other option would have been to finish out at Pike Liberal Arts that day.
And what happened, ladies and gentlemen, was the night the lights went out at Memorial Stadium, old Memorial Stadium. Troy was playing Southeast Missouri, and the game was had to be halted because a big what do you call the standard or whatever they call it?
No, the transmitter blew.
Transmitter blew, and it knocked all the lighting out in that part of the city. And then they could not play anymore at Memorial Stadium, and the people at Southeast Missouri did not want to have to go back home and without playing it. They couldn't wait and play on Monday during the day. So these guys put their heads together, and this is something probably never happened anywhere in the country, ever probably. They decided they would finish the game on Troy's practice field. So right now, where the old Troy practice field was, I remember Maddox was the coach. You remember that? Robert Maddox was the coach for Troy back then.
I thought Rick Rhodes was coach. I thought that game was tied, and that's the reason they wanted to finish it.
No, I will tell you this. I think my memories. I think Rick Rhodes. I think Robert Maddox was the coach. I'm almost positive it was Robert Maddox was the coach. And they decided that they would play on the practice field. And Maddox went into the locker room and said, "Boys, I tell you one thing, we're not about to lose this football game on our practice field." And sure enough, they played the game, and Troy won the game over Southeast Missouri, and it was something that will go down in history, I would think. But everybody stood on the bank. On the bank, that's the only way you could really watch it. I reckon some people might have gone down to the sidelines, but they finished it on the banks. And I remember I went home. It was such a long delay. I went home and watched the 10 o'clock news to see what scores were, then got in my truck and came back over and watched the game. And I'm sure you were probably with me.
When we heard they were starting back, of course, from our house, we could hear that they were starting back.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I still
But
think
that was
it's really to tell one day.
That was a very unique thing in Troy history. The night the lights went out in Troy. I can also remember a tornado hitting Troy University and knocking down. I reckon it was a tornado. It could have been a hurricane, but it knocked down all the light posts, Mike, at Troy. And that was on another time. And they had to play the rest of their season. Back then Troy played all their games at night, and I liked that. I enjoyed the night games. But they knocked down all the light posts, so they had to play every one of the games during the day.
I was thinking, did Troy softball start this weekend?
And let me tell you who they play.
They play Alabama, don't they?
They play Alabama, and they play Maryland. So this is a huge weekend for college softball, ladies and gentlemen, as the Troy University Trojans do battle with two of the nation's best softball programs. Of course, Alabama, everybody knows how good the Crimson Tide are in softball, but this is a super opportunity for you to be there to watch this tremendous softball series between Alabama and Troy and Maryland and Troy, and we're excited about it, Mike.
So all these will start today?
All this will start today, and now I'm looking more again for my...
what are they going to do about parking? Are they going to have to park on Gift Street?
Well, that's why...
Once you go out there with a sign that's today...
No, we're not... We don't need to get into that.
I'm gonna stand in my yard.
No, I don't think we need to get into that. Whatever you're talking about.
No, I'm gonna stand in my yard in Grayton tonight, though, and probably make about $200 with people parking at the Red Bar.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's a bunch of bull, no question. But of course, I tell you what they do about the Red Bar. We're talking about the Red Bar in Grayton Beach, Florida. They bus them in. It's the only restaurant I know that buses their people in.
Yeah, they have a shuttle service that goes throughout the night.
Troy
actually goes to the Red Bar and it goes to Taringa.
Troy Regional Medical Center celebrates orthopedics clinic, and the new orthopedics clinic. Dr. Robert Lilleberg and his team at Troy Regional Medical Center, and pictured are Jessica Pearlstein, Selena Hughes, Beth Brogdon, Ashton Wilkerson, Dr. Lilleberg, Robert Lilleberg, former defensive back for Tulane, Mike, Robin Taylor, Ashley Ledbetter, and they're getting ready. Karen Farrah.
Tulane had a good team this year. They beat Lafayette in the bowl game.
They sure did. I want to also mention the Troy University Foundation donated $100,000 to the Troy Regional Medical Center with a check giving out at the meeting on Thursday. So congratulations to this new program at Troy Regional Medical Center. We want to turn our pages a little bit this morning and find out exactly.
How about in golf yesterday? Mickelson shot 65 and shot 600 at Pebble Beach. He's tied for second. Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth shot 66. So that's going to be a fun tournament to watch the rest of the weekend.
Exactly right. Want to congratulate Charles Henderson again, ladies and gentlemen, winning the area title. The Trojans beat Greenville 57-41. That was right across the street from what was happening at Troy, Mike. With the victory, Charles Henderson will advance either to Monday or Tuesday night to host a one-game sub-regional tournament. They will host either Tallahassee, who defeated Brew Tech. Let's see. So they're gonna play Tallahassee. It looks like who beat Brew Tech on Thursday night. So that'll be coming up, and the winner advances to the.
And this is the girls.
No, this is the boys here.
Okay.
And I was trying to. This is a great opportunity
for
Charlton.
That boys team I watched play against Enterprise didn't look like they could beat anybody.
I know it. They did not.
Enterprise was really good.
And then Enterprise turned around and gets beat by 15 by Robert E. Lee of Montgomery.
Well, I can understand that. Robert E. Lee's got way more athletes than Enterprise.
Yeah. Well, Enterprise should have a lot of athletes. It's a big town, a big school.
No, but Robert E. Lee went to they went to the fourth round of the football playoffs this year. I tell you, that program's really turning around.
Yeah, of course, Charles Simpson girls beat Ozark 59-24, and Tutu Mike led them in scoring. The junior, the coach's daughter, and she had a big night. She had Tutu had 15 points. Mari Davenport had 14. Tanya Sala had 11. Samaria Moore had 9. Yeah, I can't pronounce the names. I wish they'd come up with easier names to pronounce. But congratulations to them. And they're heading now. They'll on into the regional tournaments. I think it's going to be held in Dothan, I want to say. Course,
hey man, let me get them loaded up. We gotta pack up the car. I'll call you right back.
Okay, Mike Amos calling actually on his en route to Great Beach, Florida. Good picture of Mari Davenport in today's Messenger, and a lot will be coming up to determine her eligibility this week. Coach Doug Branson did a great job with the boys as he's got them one game away of playing in the regional tournament with a game. The Trojans 19-9 now, ranked number 10 in the state, and are prepared to play a sub-regional tournament game Monday or Tuesday against Tallahassee. So that's a done deal there, and we'll talk more about that later on. Of course, again, Troy loses to Arkansas Little Rock last night, and now they prepare to play a good team in Arkansas State. That's a 2 o'clock game tomorrow afternoon right here at the Trojan Arena, and we're excited about that. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar for dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show today in L.A., going straight up with you this morning on Facebook across the country and across the world, on YouTube and Facebook this morning from our studios on South Brundage Street right here in Troy. Steve says there's only 2 more days left to hunt deer in Pike County. The hunting season comes to an end this weekend on Sunday. And, of course, it's been a great year. A lot of people have come to Troy, Alabama to deer hunt, and it's been very good for our economy, believe it or not. The hotels and motels most everywhere in Pike County are full to the brink for these hunters that are coming in. Another huge event coming up this weekend in Troy is Troy University softball. As we mentioned, plays the University of Maryland and the University of Alabama tomorrow. So you want to see some great big-time softball, and they don't get any bigger than Alabama softball. You'll see it this weekend at the Troy University softball complex. Troy itself, a Division I softball program, and a good one. Will actually, you watch, they'll play them tough. There's no question about it, and could win both these games if they do. Wouldn't that be a huge start for this Troy softball team? And we're excited about it. And I know this, I plan to be there to see a lot of softball this weekend. We got a lot of things going on in our community, and it's just the way it is all the time, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the gala, the big gala celebration is a sellout. Already a sellout for the Cattlemen's Association building. That starts, I think, at 7 o'clock on Saturday, and all those folks are excited about that. They've got a 12-piece band coming in to play in this event. The name of the band is City Heat, and they're from Atlanta, and they're come by popular demand. They'll be the band, and be great food and fellowship all night long. As we celebrate Cajun foods for the night at the gala event. There'll be a lot of folks, and what we mean by sellout, they sold all the tables out. There could be some empty seats, but not many. So if you're going to be able to go to this, you're going to have to find somebody that has room at their table. I think there are 8 people to the table, and that's how they did it. They sold tables, and they sold them out, and they've been sold out for the last few days. So congratulations to Catherine Jordan and Chrissy and Benny and all these folks that worked so hard with this gala event every year. The board includes my wife included, and Carla Telfair and several others, Joe Rape, several others that I didn't mention, but these are members of the board of the College Senior Center, which is a very active program. And of course, I shouldn't have started talking about the different board members, because Aline Snyder would jump all over me when I see her. Why didn't I mention her name? I better do that. And I'm sure I missed several, but I shouldn't have gotten into that. But again, congratulations to the people that have worked so hard, that are still working hard now with the decorations of this wonderful event. I tell you, you will not realize that you're in Troy, Alabama when you walk through that door, because it has a New Orleans look that you won't believe. So we're excited about that. All right, on Saturday, that is tomorrow, you've got softball. Troy University going up against the University of Alabama. Troy University going up against Maryland. And also, I would think that Maryland and Alabama will probably play each other too. So that'll be 3 super ball games right there alone. Also, Troy University basketball plays Arkansas State. That's a 2 o'clock tip from the Trojan Arena. So that's going on Saturday. We've got several other events coming up very soon. And, of course, they want to celebrate National Pizza Day tomorrow at the Trojan Arena. And so come early and enjoy some wonderful pizza at the basketball game, which is going to be played at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, again, right here in Troy. We're going to take a short break. I want to mention before we go, though, Keena Sin, a first grade student at Goshen High School, was named 2019 Little Miss Goshen at the pageant held at Goshen High School last week on February the 2nd. And Gracie Redmond, and what a beautiful young lady she is, a senior at Goshen High School, was named Miss Goshen 2019 at the ceremony at the Goshen High School PTO on February the 2nd. So congratulations. We're going to take a short break, brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show, brought to you by Huddle House, located on Highway 231 South, and of course for the best omelet in the country, go to Huddle House, and of course the food's good all day long, from breakfast, full flavor, wonderful dishes for breakfast, and then of course at lunch and at dinner, 3 meals a day, wonderful food at the Huddle House. I want to mention Horn Beverage, Donna, and Horn, and all the great people that support so many of our events in Troy year-round, and of course Booty Brutes and all the great people at Horn Beverage right here in Troy. I want to mention also Trojan Detail, and that's owned by one Hoss Daddy, Jeffrey Bennett, located on Montgomery Street. They can make your vehicle look like new. Also in downtown Troy, the best place to eat is Bird Drugs on the corner in downtown Troy. What a great breakfast you can find. I love their eggs, bacon, grits, sausage, ham, toast, biscuits. I love all of that, but I also love their sandwiches, bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, how about this? A BLT with ham. Of course, for lunch, those delicious chicken salads and pimento cheese salads and tuna salads. Their food is outstanding, and their milkshakes are delicious. I ordered a milkshake the other day, and I wanted a chocolate milkshake, but I was talking to somebody, and I said, well, I forgot to tell her I wanted my milkshake with vanilla ice cream and chocolate syrup. That's the way I like my milkshake. Well, she brought it to me, and it was milkshake with all chocolate ice cream. Well, I gobbled it down just as quick as I would the other, because it was delicious. And most everything you see in the ice cream department there, they can normally make you a delicious milkshake. Tell them to give you the aluminum container when you when you eat there. Now, if you get it to go, it's going to be a smaller container. But if you eat there, just tell them you want the metal container, and you've got a lot of milkshake and some wonderful sandwiches to go with a great lunch at Bird Drugs. I want to mention also their wonderful pharmacy with Joe Watson and all the great folks there. Of course, as we mentioned, it's a big weekend in Troy, and we'll be, basketball and baseball, and of course, more than anything, softball is going on big this weekend at Troy. Next week, Troy University opens their baseball season. Coach Mark Smart's team will open the season against Central Michigan. Should be quite a baseball series. It starts on Friday with a single game, Saturday with a doubleheader, and Sunday with a single game. It'll be 4 games to open up the season right here in Troy. And of course, if you haven't bought your season tickets, the best deal in town. Great seats all over that stadium for only $95 a season ticket. That is 32 home games, and Troy's going to have another very good team. Come watch 2 local kids. Of course, everybody knows those guys and what a great job they do in baseball, and we'll be talking more about them as we get further along in our show. But again, we got a lot of local talent with Chase Smart, and I want to also mention this outstanding softball team at Troy goes up against 2 of the top softball teams in the country. If you're here watching Alabama or here watching Maryland, hope you have a great visit right here in Troy. I recommend several good places to eat in Troy, and of course, one of my favorites is the Hash Shell, and it'll be open till late hours on Saturday, as we've got a full Friday and Saturday, but as we have a full schedule of events going on at Troy University. And also, I want to mention if you're looking for a great lunch or a great supper, Sister's Restaurant is located on Highway 231 South. I eat there almost more times than I can count. But if you love vegetables, love the best fried chicken in the world. If you love catfish, if you love baked chicken, barbecue chicken, fried chicken, chicken nuggets. A lot of people think their chicken nuggets are the best in the country. Full-fledged salad bar with all the great ingredients, and then there for dessert, delicious banana pudding, also bread pudding, also when they don't run out, strawberry cobbler, all of those great desserts, and of course they always have cakes and other desserts to choose from. It's a wonderful experience to eat at Sister's Restaurant on 231 South. And if you're out and about, also I recommend a great barbecue place right here in Troy, Alabama, and we appreciate them so very much. And it's a wonderful place to visit, Troy, Alabama, and a great place to live. And it's brought to you by Pike County Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy, where they're dealing with some of the best deals anywhere on a Ford car, truck, or used cars or trucks. They're right now, ladies and gentlemen, in the midst of one of the biggest sales in their history right now at Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy. We'll be back in just a moment.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I want to remind you again, Charles Henderson Trojans will be playing a big basketball game coming up on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. They have not said the exact time yet, where Doug Branson's team is playing Tallahassee for the right to advance to the regional championships. I'm thinking that this is going to be played in Dothan. That's where they play every year. But I also want to congratulate Doug Branson on what a great job he's done here at Charles Henderson High School with that win last night over Greenville. His record now is 19-9 on the year. It's one of the best Troy Charles Henderson records we've had in quite some time. And he's only in his first year. He coached last few years at Pike County High School and built a good program there. And I tell you, I know he's excited about his team with a 57-41 victory over Greenville to win the 5A Area 3 championship and will advance to the sub-regional tournament next week in Troy. Now, this is going to be a big game here, so we'll look forward to that that's going to be quite a game. But Doug Branson, wherever you are and whatever you're doing this morning, my friend, you deserve quite a deal of congratulations on your basketball team. We'll try to get him on our show maybe by Monday morning. He's got to get up early anyway to come to go teach school. So, and of course, again, the Denisha Jones's girls continue to win. But a big happening will be next week when they have the final make the final decision on the eligibility of the great one, in my opinion, Davenport, and of course her eligibility will be very important. But at the same time, I can see Mari Davenport, if she doesn't play, the Siler, Tana, Siler, Samaria Moore, Makia Milton, Kristen Jackson, Makaya Hobney, and of course the young lady who is really leads their attack is Tutu Jones. That's their nickname. And she was outstanding in that game yesterday. So Charles Simpson girls basketball is playing at a high level with or without Mario Davenport. I'm sure Coach Denisa Jones would love to have her star player playing, but there are a lot of star players on this Charles Henderson girls basketball team. So we'll be watching that very, very closely as that time is with us. And of course, again, we'll be watching, looking forward to a great basketball game on Tuesday. They haven't set the date yet, Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, right here in Troy. I want to mention again, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass right here in Troy. It's Truck Month. And also during this time, ladies and gentlemen, any new vehicle that they sell from their lot right here on Highway 231 North, every one of those sales will go with a $200 check to go to the schools, elementary schools in our area. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, I'm just calling back in.
Mike Amos calling in from the road now. You on the road heading south?
Yeah, I'm leaving Crow Hill as we speak. You didn't tell me it was about 30 degrees colder than when I went to bed.
No question. It is a lot colder out there now. In fact, the temperatures could go down to as low as 34 degrees tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was supposed to be freezing up in the Birmingham area, and I think down in Grayton tonight it's getting down to 44.
Yeah, that is pretty cold, no question about it. Of course, Mike, we've got a lot going on this weekend. If you love girls softball or women's softball, you don't call these college girls anymore. I reckon you call them women. Women's, and rightfully so. Women's softball, Mike, at the collegiate area, especially Division 1A, is big time, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, Alabama won a World Series, and I think about 4 or 5 years ago, Auburn's been in the College World Series a couple times. Of course, they lost that coach. But it's a situation if Troy could ever make the College World Series in any sport, I would say it'd be in baseball and softball.
Mike, what makes that coach at Auburn, and he was good, but what makes him any different? Why can't his assistant coach do the same thing? What else do you have to do in softball?
He was really good at developing pitching, and if you can find an ace pitcher,
that's the key, isn't it?
A dominant pitcher, especially in a series, you've got a chance to win it all because some of these young ladies throw 70 miles an hour, which is equivalent to like 98, 99 in the major league.
Hey, it'd be hard for a lot of good baseball pitchers to get the bat around a girl throwing that hard, isn't that right?
There's no doubt about it. And then, of course, you also got to have speed. You know, a lot of people just slap the ball down and can beat it out for first base.
All right, now they play tomorrow.
Wow, the new rec center at Troy looks like it's going to be amazing. I'm looking at it right now.
The new what?
The new
at Troy University?
At Troy, yeah.
What did you go to get that?
Oh, I'm just looking at it right now. I'm driving by.
Oh, yeah, it is fabulous. No question about it. And
I mean, the students are going to love that.
Yeah, it's going to be fabulous. And I think there's a way that local people can maybe join this facility. I'm thinking. I'm going to have to find out more later, but wouldn't that be nice?
I know in Birmingham, my twin sister Camille, you know, she works for UAB, and she's a member of their rec center.
Yeah, that's right.
Blake Crow's not a member of anything at UAB, but works downtown, and he works out there every day as well.
Does he really?
Somehow he pulls some kind of connection.
Yeah. I tell you what, I think about his daddy, Cheryl Crow, every day, and he's a very dear friend of mine. And Cheryl Crow, if you're watching this morning or anywhere you see anybody sees Cheryl Crow, hey, what a man, what a great man, and he is about as courageous as they come. He is a wonderful guy.
Yeah, I think they spend a lot of time at Lake Martin a lot too.
No question about it. Mike, I want to mention also that with these two softball teams coming in here, do you know a time on Saturday when they'll play? Do you know that?
I haven't been able to look.
If you look,
I got my phone in my hands right now.
It will be the most important thing you've done today if you can give me the times of these games, because they play Maryland and then Alabama plays Maryland, and then they play Alabama. Troy plays Alabama. You understand what I'm talking about?
I'll have to look and see real quick.
Very important. But you're driving though, aren't you?
Yeah, that's kind
of... you drive first. That's what's important.
Well, I'm looking at all the "We Support More" signs up here on the bypass.
Yeah. Of course, tell us, do you know anything about the final decision on Maury's
supposed to be around the 24th or 25th, I think, of February.
Now, when does that tournament start up there? Do you know?
I think it starts a few days after the decision comes down.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll be looking
at that. They'll know if she's eligible by the time they play in the Final Four.
Okay, that's good. Of course, everybody on the team, I noticed TC2 scored 14 last night, and you know, they just trounced everybody they played so far. They have yet to find many teams that can play with them. Do you know of any teams that can play with them?
Well, I mean, they played in some tournaments, I think, early in the season when they didn't have her. That you know, those teams definitely beat them, but I don't think they're from the state of Alabama. I don't know if they've been beaten by anybody from the state of Alabama.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, Troy softball is very important to us this weekend, as is Troy University basketball, and that is a 2 o'clock tip from the Trojan Arena. That should be a good one, shouldn't it?
Well, I mean, they beat Arkansas State early in the season, but you know, losing 4 straight games, and I don't know how many games Troy's lost at home in conference play over the last 4 or 5 years, but it's a tremendous amount. So Troy has no real home court advantage.
I know, and you're right. It's not a big crowd. I say that. I mean, there was over 1,000 people, but 1,000 people in a 6,000 seat arena is not many. It doesn't look very good, does it?
Yeah, and then probably at Charles Henderson last night, it's probably standing room only.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was a big crowd. You know, and of course, Maury, everywhere she goes, she packs them out. She packed them out in Enterprise the other night, Mike.
Yeah, I saw that. That Enterprise Hospital gym was packed.
What do you think about that gym? Did it show much on Facebook?
Yeah, it looked good.
Of course, on both sides, it got that tall.
I mean, it was just hard to watch when the team's literally making about every time they get on the court, make a 3-pointer. Yeah. I mean, that was amazing shooting performance by Enterprise.
Yeah. Somebody out there listening to me on Facebook or on YouTube or on our regular Channel 2 network, which runs all the way from Lake Martin down to the Florida line in many cases. Mike, during that game the other night, I mentioned a name to some people that were sitting behind me from Coffee Springs, Alabama. And I said, have you ever heard of a guy named LaVoyd Green? And they said, one guy then said, yes, I know him. In fact, his cousin's sitting back here with me. So I told him, I said, well, here's my card. Tell his cousin to give me a phone number for LaVoyd Green, former Troy University basketball player who hailed from Coffee Springs, Alabama, grew up with some of the great players in our area. And sure enough, yesterday or 2 days ago, I received a phone call from a guy from who knew how to get up with LaVoyd Green, who now lives in the Chicago area. And sure enough, he gave me the phone number. I called LaVoyd Green, and he could not believe it, and I could not believe it. And LaVoyd Green, former Coffee Springs High School star and former Troy University player back in the mid-'60s, or 66, 67, somewhere in that range.
So is he an Archer boy?
Yeah, he was an Archer boy. And we've been looking for him.
You know, you must have gave him a card that had my number on it, because he called me in Birmingham twice.
Did he really?
Yeah, before he called you. And I gave him your number.
What did you tell him?
I said I'm Michael Amos.
All right, that was the guy that was getting the number for me.
Yeah, he said I'm trying to get up with your dad. And I said, well, you got the wrong Michael. I mean, you got his son, is what I told him.
How could I had your son on my card? What I can't understand.
Only thing is, you know, I've got some cards maybe in my room downstairs, some old Today in LA cards that have my cell number on them.
Okay, I got you. That must have been what happened.
Maybe you grab one of those.
Yeah, but we did find him, and the reason we couldn't find him is this, Mike. He does not go by LaVoyd Green anymore. He left Troy back in the 60s or 1960.
He didn't take his wife's name, did he?
No. His name is Jim Green instead of LaVoyd Green. I found out that he's a very successful businessman, and he was called. I found him down in Naples, Florida, one of the richest cities in the nation. And
I thought you said he was in Chicago.
Well, he moved to Chicago. Now he lives in Culver, Indiana. Has a business there. Started a business there. And so that's where he lives now. But he winters, Mike. He winters in Naples, Florida, 3 months out of the year to avoid all this cold weather. And
yeah,
I talked to him.
He didn't have to feel the 50 degrees below zero.
That's right. And I talked to him for over an hour, and we just had a wonderful time talking about basketball back then and when he played and so forth. And he played at Coffee Springs. Every team, Mike, I want you to hear this now. I'm coming off my computer, which is not working very well, but I'm pretty good at this. I'm going to throw out a lot of names to you of great players that played back in the same era that he played in high school in Alabama. First of all, LaVoyd Green came out of Coffee Springs. Also, you had Charles Clark out of New Brockton. You had the Moore kid out of New Brockton, who was his stepbrother, Ronnie Moore. You had the Elba group, Mike, that had tons of good players that came out of Elba. Ronnie Young and the Jacobs was a great player. Enterprise had David O'Gwen, who was a great player. Jimmy.
Didn't some high school in Dothan have Artis Gilmore?
Well, he played. They did, but they didn't play in a public school. They didn't play in the Alabama High School Association. He later on starred for Jacksonville University. Artis Gilmore did, and later on played in the pros. He was a great one. But Billy Cotter was a good one out of Enterprise. You had a wonderful group out of Greenville. You had Thigpen. You had you got to help me a little bit with some of this. You probably don't know James Booth out of.
Yeah, you got to realize I wasn't born.
I know you weren't born. James Booth out of Eufaula, Tommy Lewis out of Eufaula was a great one. Atkins out of Opp was a super player. Tommy Whitehurst out of Kinston. Roy, what was Roy's last name out of Kinston? Of course, the Carnleys out of Kinston were great players, and Jay Boland out of Kinston was a great player coming out of high school back then. And I reckon we could go on and on and on. Of course, Lou Verne had a bunch of good ones. Ronald Giddings out of Troy was a great player back then. William Davis out of Troy. Jimmy Rose out of Troy. All of these played at the same time in the high school levels back in those days of high school basketball, and the days that a lot of people have forgotten. But every town seemed to have a great shooter in their town, or a great player. Jimmy Norman was a great one, a great shooter out of Goshen, was a good one. And
I tell you what, Jimmy Norman must have been one of the best all-around athletes in Troy.
He was a good athlete. He's raised in Goshen. Of course, you like pork chops? They got the best pork chops in the world out at his station right next to.
They also got really cheap gas. That's why I like it more than pork chops.
Well, and their pork chops and their buffet, their pork chops for breakfast with their eggs and their grits are just fabulous. And then their lunch pork chops are wonderful, and they've got a great buffet. This is at Jimmy Norman's place on the bypass, right next to Jab's Sporting Goods. Great place.
I tell you, I took some of your camp stew when we left today.
And let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, there's camp stew left. There's not a lot of it left, but there's camp stew left. You need to drop by Salvation Army on South Grundy Street. Only $10 for a quart of camp stew. And Mike, tell us how good it was.
It's wonderful. It's some of the best camp stew you'll ever eat.
You know, I like it because it's got a sort of a sweet taste to it. Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, she said it has that because of the ketchup.
Well, it's really, really good, and of course they've got quarts of it left. If you want to donate to the Salvation Army and get some camp stew at the same time, $50 will give you 5 quarts. $100 will give you 10 quarts, and I bought 10 quarts, and I'm tickled about giving them all away already, Mike. But it works real good in your freezers. These containers.
Was all of your stuff down in the freezer downstairs? Is that all new? Or is that
That's right. That's all new. And, of course, this is delicious camp stew, and you won't find any better. And at the same time, you're donating to the Salvation Army, and we appreciate that very much. Mike, we go back to some of these long names and of great players back in the early 60s. They came out of everywhere, and of course, I was hitting on.
Of course, one of the greatest athletes of all time is a lawyer in downtown Troy, Dickie Calhoun.
Dickie Calhoun played at Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery, and was an outstanding football and basketball player. He's son of a Methodist preacher. This is your life, Dickie Calhoun over on...
he was also a state long jump champion, wasn't he?
He was a state long jump champion for several years, but he jumped 23 feet 1 inch for the state record in the broad jump. We're talking about the same Dickie Calhoun that is an attorney in downtown Troy right now. But it was broken by a young athlete named Richmond Flowers, Mike. Richmond Flowers jumped 23 feet 8 inches to break Dickie Calhoun's record in the broad jump. And back then, that was big-time stuff. And, of course, Richmond Flowers.
So how did Richmond Flowers get out of the state of Alabama and go to Tennessee?
Track. 3 words. Track. Tennessee had a great track team. Alabama and Auburn had track teams, but not as good as Tennessee's. So he selected to go to run track for Tennessee. But at the same time, he played football for Tennessee and played against Alabama and Auburn for 4 years. And, of course, he was one of the fastest.
His dad was Attorney General, is that correct?
Yeah, his dad was Attorney General. Richmond Flowers set a new high school record in the 110 high hurdles He ran it in a phenomenal 13.5. He ran it in 13 and 5 seconds, which shattered the state record here in Troy, and it was a high school record for a long time. And he was a fabulous hurdler. And in fact,
and then he went on to play for the Dallas Cowboys for a little while.
He played for the Dallas Cowboys, played in the secondary, and he could fly. You know, and had great speed. And he was actually raised in Dothan. He lived and raised in Dothan, and Mike Dothan had two great football players that came up at the same time: Curtis Hillman and Tommy Wade. All right, Curtis Hillman.
Tommy Wade played at Alabama, didn't he?
That's right, played at Alabama. His brother Steve played at Alabama too. But Tommy Wade was a great player at Alabama. He was a great high school player at Dothan High School, along with Curtis Hillman. All right, Hillman went on and played at Georgia. But Curtis Hillman and Tommy Wade all grew up the same time that Richmond Flowers did in Dothan. All right, now I want to tell you the rest of the story.
So did Richmond Flowers compete in the Olympics?
Yes, he did. What I'm thinking he did, I know this. He ran against Willie Davenport, the gold medal winner, as a pure freshman at the University of Tennessee. Richmond Flowers outran him in a track meet the next year after he won the gold medal. All right, now let me tell you what the rest of the story. If Richmond Flowers' dad does not become Attorney General, Richmond Flowers would have stayed at Dothan High School. You know, they didn't have Northview back then. They had just Dothan High School, and they were really, really good, Mike. They would have had Richmond Flowers, Curtis Hillman, and Tommy Wade in the same backfield.
Wow.
And they were three of the best high school players. Well, let me tell you what happens. Richmond Flowers' dad becomes Attorney General, and Richmond Flowers moves to Montgomery in his junior year. All right, so Richmond Flowers' junior year and senior year was at Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery. And every year they played each other. It was an unbelievable game between Dothan and Lanier. And, of course, the Lanier won the championship one time, and then Dothan won it the other time. But it was a great battle between Dothan and Sidney Lanier with those great players on both teams. So that is the rest of the story on that. And of course, you know, we were talking basketball, and some of the great players that came around during those heydays of local players playing basketball, and then later coming on to Troy and playing for Troy. Of course, Coach Archer recruited very well in our area, and it was always fun to keep up with these players when they played high school. But that was just a few of the many great players that came through this part of the country. And of course, as I mentioned, there was a bunch of guys from Luverne. Luverne had a real good teams in 1961 and 62, and I was just trying to remember them off my top of my head, but I don't remember them like I used to. But they were really good. Somebody that knows some of those older players that played at Luverne and some of these other guys, it'd be a lot of fun to hear from you this morning. Of course, again, big weekend. It's going to be colder, a lot colder today. In fact, they don't expect the temperature, Mike, to get any higher than 50 degrees today. The wind will be blowing hard, so it's going to be awfully cold. Are you in a bad area now? Mike Amos is calling to us from on route to Florida, and of course sometimes you run into those dead zones that you can't get through. Of course, the signing day is over with, and Troy has gone out and recruited 23 new players, and they are very pleased with it. A lot of people think it's one of the best recruiting years ever at Troy. Of course, you know, right now Troy is sitting right now with 5 very good quarterbacks. If they keep all 5 of them, I'll be surprised, because usually if you have that many quarterbacks, somebody's going to want to transfer. But right now, Troy has signed 3 offensive linemen and 3 defensive linemen that are going to help them right away, they think. And that means a lot. And then Troy went after a bunch of receivers, and they signed 4 receivers that were 6'4" or above. That tall of receivers, which is very good, especially when you want a mismatch on the corners. Let's say you got man coverage on the corners now, and you got a 6'4" receiver from Troy going up against a 5'10" or 5'11" receiver from Louisiana Lafayette or whatever, and you got one-on-one coverage. Well, gosh, you got 4 inches, 5 inches on this guy on the end. So that's a big advantage when you got those big, tall receivers, especially if you have them on both sides. 6'4" on both sides, say the guy's 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'11" for these defensive backs. And again, a mismatch in size, in some respects, in speed at the receiver position. But it's going to be a great weekend. We appreciate our sponsors, Pike Tree Service, and there's still a lot of trees that need to be cut down or picked up and moved. Hey, Pike Tree Service can do it for you. P.S. Falk Furniture in Enterprise is one of the great places to buy furniture. You drive down there, and I promise you, no way will you leave with not either wanting a piece of furniture or going ahead and purchasing a piece of furniture. Green Hills Memorial Park and Green Hills Funeral Home in Troy is one of the great facilities in this part of the country. And of course, during a time of need, it is there for you, and they do a great job at Green Hills Memorial Park and Green Hills Memorial or Green Hills Funeral Home right here in Troy. I want to mention the Messenger. Don't live in Troy without the Messenger today, and we're looking at it every day and picking up different things that we want to pass on to you. And of course, one of the things I was looking at, we talked about the gala and it's going on this weekend, but it's some other things that are happening in our community that I was real pleased with. One of the things is we've got a new clinic, an orthopedic clinic, opening in Troy, Alabama, and we're excited about that. Dr. Robert Lillegeberg is the orthopedic doctor, and he set up an orthopedic clinic right here in Troy, Alabama. I want to mention a few other things going on in our community. Of course, we were looking at this weekend, and the probate office now has an office in Goshen, which is wonderful, to provide a office there that will make it easy for Goshen folks to do business here in Pike County, and of course without having to drive to Troy to do it. I want to mention also again the wonderful Pike Medical Foundation presented the Troy Regional Medical Center with a check for $100,000 that was raised during the foundation's campaign 2018. So congratulations to Ronnie Dean and the Troy Regional Medical Center. And if you would like to donate to that wonderful cause, call him at Troy Regional Medical Center today and say, yes, I want to donate to the to the Regional Medical Center right here in Troy, and a good picture of that group of many supporters that went out and raised money for this cause. I want to mention also that the Santa Fe restaurant has got a new manager, but he's not a stranger to anybody. Vijay Nepal is the new manager at Santa Fe, and if you remember, he was the manager of a great Chinese restaurant, Mr. Ho's, for many years. How many times have you walked into Mr. Ho's over the years and VJ would say, how you doing, Mr. Amos? How you doing, Carol? How you doing, Rebecca? How you doing, Mike? How you doing, Camille? He knew everybody's name, including my children's name. I mean, how could you not want to do business with a guy that knew who you were and where you were from, and all these college kids that would come in they would be surprised and said, "Good morning, Mr. Nepal. I am," and he said, "Oh, you're Billy from Tallahassee, and you're Jerry from Oaks Bluff, Alabama." Wherever he could remember names and still can, and he's the new manager, and there are 4 managers out there, and of course the managers are the 4 pillars of the foundation of our restaurant. Said owner C.P. Pittman, who's the owner of Santa Fe, and it's an excellent place to eat. And the guys you'll need to know, of course, is BJ, but also Jeanette Holmes, Nate Malone, and my very good friend Jackie Corley. How many people remember Jackie Corley? All of these people now are teamed up to provide you with excellent service and delicious food at Santa Fe restaurants, not only in Troy, but also in Enterprise. We hope that you've enjoyed our show. We hope that you'll have a great weekend, and stay warm and go out and support Troy softball in this cold weekend. And also I'll see you at the Mardi Gras Gala this weekend. Have a great one.